What did the person you were interested in do to completely make you lose interest? Story 1. Told me I was an okay safe bet, and they knew I wasn't going anywhere, so they wanted to play the field as much as possible and see if they could do better before settling on me. Story 2. Long time ago, started seeing a very rich person. Sent a photo of dinner I had ordered on a completely average restaurant on a completely average popular neighborhood. Got a reply saying, if you ever took me out to eat there, I would never see you again. Well, indeed, never saw the person again. Story 3. Every story she told me was about some argument or conflict or drama, and in every story she considered herself to be the paragon of virtue and honesty, while everyone around her would be vindictive, cruel, and out to get her. I recognize the behavior because my mom does the same thing, and I hate that kind of constant self-victimization. Story 4. Told me about his gambling problem, only told me because he was losing his house. Story 5. Every time she texted me and I didn't respond within 5 minutes, she would send a question mark. It was incredibly annoying. Story 6. Talked about himself for 2.5 hours straight. I was hoping a disruption like the food being served, orders being taken, or even a story ending would remind him to let me get a word in. But he would just go back to another story with so, yeah, I was saying. Story 7. Litter. We were on a walk. Things were going great. I was totally smitten. And then she threw her empty Starbucks cup in the bush. This not only turned me off, but evoked an instant bad reaction, and I of course picked up the cup and threw it away in front of her, while borderline insulting her character to her face. I probably overreacted, but regardless, I have never gone from interested to disgusted like that before or since. Story 8. I listened to her issues and troubles. So many of them were clearly self-inflicted. Poor choices, money management, and it's never her fault. Nah, I can't have those problems become my problems. Story 9. They would spend all day making TikToks and Instagram posts but couldn't spare 5 seconds to at least say hi to me. We were dating at the time, so I think I deserved at least the tiniest bit of attention. Story 10. I said this within another thread recently, but on a first date, a gal that I was interested in asked me for $300. No, thank you to both the request and her. Story 11. I saw her interact with her kids. She was and is a terrible mother. Last year I ran across her eldest. He is now in his early 20s. We were talking about life. He was telling me how his mom wasn't a good parent, and I confirmed his opinion. He seemed to like the fact that someone else saw, even if I couldn't have helped beyond having been someone he could talk to during his teen years. Friends, before we continue our video, I want to remind you of the importance of subscribing to our channel. We are also waiting for your comments and likes. Thank you. Let's move on to the video. Story 12. She would text back and showed interest, but when it came time to plan a meetup, there was always something going on in her life. I've since learned that a woman will make time for you if she really wants to. Story 13. I went to her apartment and she had poster-sized pictures of herself, like 5. She made me dinner and the chicken was seriously undercooked, raw, and the frozen vegetables were still frozen. Then the icing on the cake, there was no cake, was that she left room and came back in wearing slippers that she mentioned she's had forever that smelled from across the room of funky feet. Story 14. The girlfriend moved into a new apartment and dropped her cat off at the pound. Cat was a sweetheart. She had him for 5 years, and when I found out she dropped him off at the pound after asking about him, her comment was, "What's the big deal? I can always get another one." That was a big wake-up call. I didn't want to spend any time with that person. Pretty much said I was done and got the hell away from her. Adopt animals for life. You are their caretaker, and they are your best friends for life. Story 15. His clothes smelled like he let them to rot in the washing machine, and that was such a turn-off. Happened 2 times with another guy. His clothes smelled funky one day, and I lose interest. Story 16. I saying no to me when I asked her, a common friend, out and then suddenly showing interest in me when I didn't pay any more extra attention to her. If I want to play games, I'd use my PC instead of asking her out. Story 17. Inconsistency. Was open and able to talk about his own problems, and I was willing to be there and listen. But the rare time when I needed someone to talk to, he either didn't know what to say or just ignored me and left me on read. Story 18. We went to a parade together with a bunch of his friends after having been on 3 or 4 dates. Turns out these friends were other people he was dating the same time as me. He had brought us all together for a mega date to feed his ego and didn't tell any us. Instant turn off. Story 19. Treated me as an option and would openly be texting with other girls from dating sites while we were spending time together. When I confronted him about it, he said we weren't committed and I shouldn't be so jealous cause I was the one he was actually hanging out with. Like he was gracing me with his presence lol. Story 20. Hating on everyone behind their back. Girl got more issues than Vogue. This is a good note to end on. Please rate your stories in the comments. I'll be happy to add them to future videos. Also, you can rate our other videos. We would be very grateful. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.